The Jacksonville Jaguars were faced with the easiest decision at the 2021 NFL Draft: who to take first overall. The answer? Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence. But the Jaguars didn't stop there with Tigers stars, snagging running back Travis Etienne 24 picks later. First-year head coach Urban Meyer already has a foundation to start building upon, marking a new era in Jacksonville. Meyer is going to bring an interesting offensive system to the pros that he excelled with in college. His pass game in the NFL is going to be something to watch. Meyer's system has tended to rely on curls and drags, basically just short throws. I do think that changes in the pros, and the biggest reason for that is Trevor Lawrence. Meyer has coached a lot of quarterbacks, but I don't think that any of them have been as talented as Lawrence. I'm not going to count Cam Newton because Meyer only coached him at Florida briefly before he transferred. And as much as I love Alex Smith, he wasn't more talented than Lawrence coming out of Utah. Meyer wants to run a pro-style offense, but Dabo Swinney had Lawrence constantly throwing screens and running run-pass options. Meyer may want to use Lawrence like Swinney, but regardless, Lawrence will have to adjust to a more pro-style system. With how good Lawrence was in play action, Meyer would be doing him a disservice if he didn't run RPOs. The Jaguars couldn't go wrong with the Lawrence pick, but taking Travis Etienne at 25 was a bit of a questionable move to me when it first happened. Now, reportedly, Meyer really wanted Florida wide receiver Kadarius Toney, and it broke his heart when the New York Giants took him before 25. Instead, Meyer settled with Etienne. The pick was odd, but it's even weirder now that Meyer has come out and said that Etienne would be used as a third down back behind James Robinson and Carlos Hyde, but I don't think that's actually the case. If you're enjoying the video, please help us reach 100K by subscribing to the channel and hitting that bell notification so you never miss an upload. During his time with Florida and Ohio State, Meyer ran the ball a lot and ran it well with a slew of different backs. I expect Robinson and Hyde to be the normal backs, while Etienne is used as a slash player. A slash player is someone that is used at different positions on the offensive side of the ball. It's usually a quarterback, and for the most part is identified with Cordell Stewart, who played quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and punter. The most recent example of a slash player would be Taysom Hill. Meyer has utilized slash players before, most notably Washington's Curtis Samuel during their time at Ohio State together. Samuel technically played running back for the Buckeyes, but ended up with slightly more receiving yards than rushing yards as a junior before being drafted into the NFL and becoming a wideout. I think Etienne is going to play all over the field for the Jaguars, running the ball, catching passes from the slot, and maybe even going outside at some points. Etienne isn't going to be the only capable receiving target for Lawrence. DJ Chark is one season removed from a breakout 1,000-yard campaign, and Laviska Shenault had a very impressive rookie year after being selected in the second round. Jacksonville further bolstered the position by going out and signing Marvin Jones. I'm excited for the future of the Jaguars' offense, but not their defense. Jacksonville was one of the worst defenses in the NFL in 2020, and there were only a few bright spots, including linebacker Josh Allen and 2020 first-round pick cornerback CJ Henderson. I think first and foremost with the Jacksonville Jaguars is that this is a team that we're going to have to be patient with. A ton of people are going to watch the Jaguars this season just alone to watch Trevor Lawrence play. We see it every year where people tune in to watch the first overall pick, especially if it's a quarterback, just to pay attention to their team and how they progress. But this is going to be even harder because you are looking at a team that not only has a first-year head coach, first-year quarterback, you have a lot of new pieces. Marvin Jones, Lawrence, Travis Etienne, but you're looking at a team that has completely overhauled their roster in the last handful of years. I mean, these guys used to have Jalen Ramsey, Calais Campbell. They were a very, very good team. Blake Bortles at quarterback, Leonard Fournette at running back. This Jaguars team has completely changed overnight. I think they still have a lot of growing to do, and I do think that Trevor Lawrence is going to succeed early in his NFL career, and honestly, I just think he's going to succeed in the entirety of his NFL career. I think he's going to be a boom prospect. Everybody loves him for a reason. He is a near perfect prospect. That being said, Trevor Lawrence doesn't play defense. Even if Trevor Lawrence is putting up 40 points this year and the defense is on fire, I think the Jags still lose a ton of games. That defense is incredibly bad, and before they can fix up that defense, I don't see the Jaguars making any kind of serious run. Looking at the draft alone, there's no way they could have missed on the first overall pick. You take Trevor Lawrence and you never look back. In terms of the Etienne pick, I talked about it. I'm excited to see him be used as a slash player, but personally, I am just a proponent of never using a first round pick on a running back. It's overall not worth it. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers made the wrong move at 24 by taking Najee Harris, and I think the Jags made a bad move taking Etienne at 25. Running back is, in my opinion, just a plug-and-play position, except for a handful of guys that are truly elite, like the Christian McCaffreys of the world. As long as you have a good offensive line, I believe that you can plug in a ton of different guys into the spot, and they will succeed, and possibly even become stars just because of their circumstance. Especially with how bad the Jaguars defense has been, I think it would have been the right move to actually take a defensive piece there. There was a lot of good players on the board that they could have taken to bolster their defense. I would have loved if they could have gotten Kadarius Toney. That would have been a huge pickup if the Giants wouldn't have taken him at 20th, but overall, he wasn't there. That's how the draft works, and I think at that point, you need to take a defensive player and you need to start working on your team. And at the very least, take anybody on offense, just not a running back in the first round. That being said, it does make sense to some kind of degree. At least he's a guy from Clemson that knows Trevor Lawrence very well. We saw a lot of teams at the draft who kind of had these like homecomings come together for whatever reason. Jalen Hurts with Devontae Smith and the Eagles taking Smith. Obviously, you had Jalen Waddle who played with Tua and now he got drafted by Miami. And then even Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne coming together, getting both drafted by the Jaguars. I'm super pumped up to see what Urban Meyer does as an NFL head coach. I have a lot of skepticism. I'm not too sure about overall his system and if it's going to perfectly play. It's the same kind of feelings I had with Cliff Kingsbury. You know, guy is a fantastic college coach. Does it work? I don't know. Look at Nick Saban, for example. Nick Saban was an awful head coach in the NFL with the Miami Dolphins. And then he goes to college and he succeeds completely. Jim Harbaugh was, in my opinion, a very, very, very good NFL head coach. The way he used Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick and was able to ride them to a Super Bowl was incredible. In college, he just hasn't gotten it done for Michigan. It's a very, very different game on both sides. Urban Meyer is used to recruiting kids, going to their houses and talking to parents. Now, he doesn't need to do that, and he just needs to focus on the NFL aspect of it. I think the Jaguars still have a long, long way to go. I think they're still going to be a very, very, very bad football team this year, but it's going to come with a lot of optimism. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to show plenty of flashes. I think Travis Etienne could actually become a star just if Urban Meyer uses him the correct way. And I think the biggest thing to watch is going to be not only Lawrence's progress, but if Meyer's using him the right way, using him with RPOs, not just making him throw curl routes, because that guy is way too talented for you to just use him as a system quarterback like he used Alex Smith at Utah. I think 2021 is still going to be a really tough year for the Jaguars, but looking ahead, I think the future is very bright. A new era is upon the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne lead the change. Urban Meyer will have his hands full rebuilding the Jaguars while trying to develop his new young talent. Jacksonville has a long way to go, but this is the beginning of something great. Thanks for sticking to the end of the video. Again, please help us reach 100K by subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell notification so you never miss an upload. Once we hit 100K, we are giving away a jersey. To enter the giveaway, follow us both on Instagram and tag us on your story with a screenshot of you subscribed with the bell notification on.